Edison Gamboa here, and I'm here with my mom, my dad, and my daughter Maya. And today my topic's going to be the need for positive reinforcement in children to build self-esteem and confidence. So I'll start off with a story with Carlos. He had straight grades all through elementary and high school. His parents worked a lot, so they were too busy to notice his grades. Carlos eventually understood this, but he wanted the recognition, so eventually Carlos started hanging out with the wrong crowd. He was involved in a robbery, got caught, and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. When asked why he turned to crime, Carlos blankly said, "My parents didn't care about my grades and my accomplishments, so why should I? I felt alone, like they didn't care. They never rewarded me for my A's and B's." Due to the lack of positive reinforcement, Carlos's once bright future has now been darkened by the walls of a prison cell. Positive reinforcement is defined as the addition of reward following a behavior that makes it more likely for the behavior to once again happen in the future. For example, you finish all your dinner, you get dessert. Positive reinforcement can change a person's outlook and encourage them to grow on their path of excellence. Positive reinforcement throughout a child's life will have a dramatic effect on self-esteem and confidence for years to come. As you heard from Carlos's story, his lack of positive reinforcement from his family led him to crime. Lack of positive reinforcement can lead to emotional neglect, child's abandonment syndrome, increased likelihood of psychiatric issues, and also criminal activity. In fact, in a 2017 article from Psychology Today, the late psychologist Alice Miller stated, "We don't know, above all, what the world might be like if children were to grow without being the subject to humiliation, and parents would respect them and take them seriously as people." Positive reinforcements needs to start in an early age because no parent wants their child to end up like Carlos. By implementing positive reinforcement in early childhood, one can make sure that their child doesn't feel alone in adolescence and early adulthood. Simple acts of kindness will build a child's self-esteem, helping them ensure that the behavior will happen more frequently. Positive reinforcement not only is beneficial to the child, but also to the parent. Dopamine, the chemical in the brain that makes you happy, increases in both the child and the parents, studies have found. Small acts of verbal praise and recognition such as "great job" or "nice work" works wonders. Later, you can move up to enforcing stimulus, where, for example, your daughter gets straight A's and she gets rewarded with AirPods. These two actions will greatly encourage the child to continue to do well in school. They will also feel loved and appreciated rather than abandoned and neglected. Imagine that you are a child and you've been working on a project for school for over a month and you get an A. You're excited and you can't wait to tell your parents because you want to hear praise and encouragement. Now imagine that you are the parent and your child comes to you happy and elated because they got an A on their project. You want your child to feel special because they did a great job. It all starts with you to spread positive reinforcement when it's deserved. As you heard, a little positive reinforcement can go a long way. As legendary poet Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." I encourage you to start praising your children and others when they did a good job in whatever they did. In conclusion, positive reinforcement can have a large impact not only on your child's life, but also your own. Thank you.